Hello, everyone. This is Tina Hogan Grant with my regular Cuppa A Natter that I like to do on a Monday, twice a month. And I like to bring authors into my home and we talk about reading, writing, life as an author, what we're currently working on, and anything else that comes to mind. And tonight I am joined with A.N. Stauber. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. And you also go by the name as Lexi.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to be calling you. I'll call you Lexi tonight. But thank you so much for joining me. I'm excited to have you. And first of all, what part of the country are you joining us from?
I am on the East Coast. I'm in Delaware.
So it's like 8 o'clock there.
Yes, it's 8 here.
Are you getting the heat wave there too? Or are you getting the
We
rain?
Yeah, this is our second. We had a heat wave back in July, and this is our second one of the year, and it's pretty brutal over here.
Yeah, I mean, my family's here from England. They're visiting for a month, so to them,
Mhm.
it's like, my God, and
It's
I took
definitely
him.
different.
I know, and I took him to the beach yesterday, and even at the beach, it was 95 degrees. And
Wow.
I've
It was
never, yeah, I've usually it's like 75, 80,
mhm.
and I'm like taking him to the beach to cool off, and it's still 95 degrees.
Oh, it's crazy.
It is crazy, but I'm excited to learn more about you and your books. But before we continue, we have a lot of people joining us, so I want to pause for a minute and just say hello. Are you able to see the comments?
Let's
If you
see.
click on comments, you should be able to see who.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
good.
see.
So we have Tina Atkinson is here. She says, hello, ladies. Karen Wright
Hello.
says, hey, you are welcome. B. Follow Hill, Virgie Lane, Karen Geeling, Paula Miller, Tina Rose. I'm not sure if you might know a lot of these people from being in my group. Are you in Karen Wright's group also? Great
I
group.
might be.
Okay, she's in Care Bear Readers, and she does a lot of the books that your genre, but the romance.
Okay.
You're gonna have to go check out. Karen, invite
Yeah.
Stuber to your group. She's here tonight. Alicia Haney is here, and Karen even says you are new to me, but she
Yeah.
has a group called Care Bear Readers, and I think you will fit right in there too. She does a lot
Awesome.
of the suspense romance, dark romances. You should check out her group, Care Bear Readers.
Definitely.
She said, yes, ma'am. So there you go. I just hooked you up in the new group.
Thank you.
Before we get started, can you share just a little bit about yourself? And we know you're from Delaware, but your family, married, kids, whatever you
I am
feel
I
like.
am married. I have 3 kids. They are 2, 4, and 7. So I have my 2 oldest are girls, and then I have a little boy who's attached to my hip.
Oh,
Um, yeah, we actually just went apple picking today in this brutal heat, so it was a rough day for us
now is that on
over
your
here.
property? The apples are on your property?
No, we went to a farm that does it, so we
Oh,
did, like, the
fun.
hayride, and we got to do the apple picking, so that's what I do a lot of my free time is just, spending time with my kids.
With your kids. That's
Yeah.
awesome. You make like fresh apple pie and apple.
We're gonna make apple pie this weekend, so this is gonna be
Oh, wow.
exciting
My
for
son's 34 years old. He's too old for that now. But I do have grandkids. We do have grandkids. So I like to bake with them. Now, how
Yeah.
many books have you written?
So I have 3 that are published, and I'm working on 2 more right now that'll be hopefully published by December.
Congratulations. And when
Thank
did you
you.
start writing your first book? When was it published?
My first book was published in January. I published it on my 29th birthday on January 19th
Of this year.
of this year. Yeah.
So you're up to book number 6. Is that correct?
Hopefully, yeah, I should be by the end of the year, I should have 5 to 6
Okay,
published.
I have to ask, where do you find the time to write with 2 kids?
So
What?
I'm a shift worker, so I work at night. So when like it dies down like 2, 3 in the morning, I'm able to write at work if we're not busy. So that helps a lot being able to write at work.
Yeah, I'm getting paid for it.
Yeah.
I want your job. Well, congratulations. I hope they're a huge success for you. We on the graphic that I made, we had 2 covers up. One was called Her Vengeful King, and the
Mhm.
other one is called Cracked Open. Do you happen to have copies of those available to hold up?
I have her Vengeful King with me.
Okay,
I
let's
don't
see.
have Cracked Open though.
Now, is this a standalone, number one? Or is it
This it is a standalone. It's book 1 in the Blackheart series. So book 2 will hopefully be out by December, but
and
it'll be a standalone.
okay, now all your books, are they the same genre?
They all kind of teeter on the contemporary romance. My first book, Cracked Open, it's not a super dark romance. I wouldn't classify it as dark. But
Mhm.
the rest of my books will be the dark
The
romance.
dark romance. And I
Yeah,
gotta ask, are they steamy?
they are. Yes.
I like to smile. The answer. No surprises, right? They are steamy.
Yes, they are steamy.
Okay, that's perfectly. I mean, I like steamy. I want to also tell you, I'm here with Lexi Stuber. A.N. Stuber is her pen name. If you
Mhm.
have any questions for Lexi, go ahead and leave them in the comments. As you know, I try to get to as many as I can. Lexi, with your romances, where did your inspiration come from, and why did you decide to write dark romances?
So I always have been like a storyteller. I've always written stories. My grandmother kind of fed that passion and encouraged me to sign up for like doing the newsletters for my college and high school. So I've always kind of been into writing. And I never knew like what to do with it. And then when I had my third son, I started to get back into reading a lot. And as I read these stories, I decided I wanted to start writing again. And it kind of helped fuel that passion. And I got a story in my head and I just put it down and started writing again. So a lot of it has to do with my grandma. And yeah, I would credit a lot of that to her.
That's great, fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you listened to your head and your gut, and you sat there. Now 6 books later, and you said all 6 books will be published by the end of the year. You think?
I'm hoping to have at least the first five published by the end of the year. Yeah. Right now, three are published.
Okay, cool. And
Yeah.
then the one that you held up, A Vengeful King.
Hmm.
Just a little background on what it's about.
So it's a Irish mafia book set in Boston. The male interest is going to be he's the heir of the Irish mob. His father is the head of it. And the female, she was an army veteran. She is a trauma surgeon. So they meet in the hospital. He comes in with a gunshot wound. His brother brings him in, who she actually deployed with his brother. So that's how she kind of gets linked up with Callum. So Haley and Callum, that's how their story starts, is once he comes in and she treats him.
All right. And you said this is book one of a series.
Yes.
Do you know how many books are going to be in the series yet?
So there are five siblings of the Murphy family. So there'll be at least five books, one for each of
Oh,
them.
great. And then you'll
Yeah.
continue on with the same characters in each book?
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
you'll see. So Patty is the brother that Haley knows. So his book will be next. You'll see his book next.
And where did the idea for this series come from?
My husband and I watched Peaky Blinders, so we were like into like the mafia stuff.
Okay.
And I started reading the mafia books, so that kind of is where the mafia idea started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I got to ask, did your husband read your books?
He read the first one. He read bits and pieces of the first one. He's not much of a reader. He and with the kids and stuff, we don't really have a lot of time, but
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
yeah.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic, though. And then the other book, Cracked Open. Now, is
Mhm.
that, you don't have a copy of that one, but is that a standalone or is that going to be a series too?
So it will be a series. It'll be a standalone though. And actually, you'll see a character of from Cracked Open. Her name is Andy. She is actually friends with Haley. So Haley is in her book, and Andy is in this book as well.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So
Wow.
even though it's completely, one set in California, one set in Boston, you'll see the characters.
So you writing 2 series at once?
I am.
I mean, I tried that. I did. And it was by accident. It wasn't intentional.
Hmm.
I had some downtime while I was waiting for an editor, and then they kind of crossed paths, and I got so confused. How do you
That's
keep?
Yeah, that's kind of what's happening now is so I wanted to write Haley's book after Andy's because they were best friends, but
Right.
it's set completely different. Her story's in a completely different location. One's mafia, one's just in the regular, world basically. So to bring those together, I definitely wanted to do Haley's first before I did the other characters that are set in California. So um, it has been a little bit confusing, but Haley won't be making a lot of appearances in the first series. So that kind of helps, especially now they're all standalone too. So
Right.
they won't be connecting.
And I want to point out too that all of your books are HEA, Happy Ever Afters.
They are, yeah.
Okay, I want to point that out too. Um, when you sit down to write, you say you write at work a lot of times. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
But do you plot your books, or do you
No,
just sit down and just see what happens?
I just see what happens. I'm finding out the ending of the story with my readers a lot of the time.
I'm
Yeah.
the same way. Have you ever tried to plot?
I have, and it doesn't go out well. A lot of things wind up changing, and I also feel like I don't really know my characters until I'm finished writing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to figure out exactly where the story's going to go when you're learning who they are.
I agree
Trying
with you
to
100%. And also, if your character is in the same books 2, 3, 4, and 5, you get to know them even better.
Right, yeah.
I mean, like I'm writing book 6 of one of my series. I think it's book 6 or maybe 7. I've lost track. But I'm I'm writing another book in the series. It's 6 or 7. Maybe one of my readers will tell me which one. And I'm finding out more about this character, through all these books. And there's more stuff. And you think you know a character, then you start writing another book. Oh my God! Now I'm just finding this out. And I
Yeah.
love how that happens because this character is Claire. This character that's been in all my books from book 1. I'm still learning things about her. And I love that about not plotting a book.
Yeah.
For me, if I try and plot a book, I feel restricted that I can't go beyond the boundary. I can't go beyond that fence and change anything because I plotted it and you have to stick to that plot.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when I plot a book, I tried it once and it was a disaster. And I gave up halfway through the book and said, all right, characters, you just tell me what to do because this isn't working.
Yeah.
So I totally get what you say that, you're listening to not listening to readers, but you're reading the book for the first time, just like the readers. And are you surprised by some of your endings? Did you see it coming maybe midway through the book or?
So with Cracked Open, I knew how they were going to end because they are a second chance romance. So I knew that they were going to have to go through. It tells the story of when they first met, and then there's a 10-year gap. So I kind of knew how their story was going to end.
Okay.
With her Vengeful King, not really. I knew obviously that they were going to wind up together, but I didn't know. I knew what their backstories were going to be, but I didn't know exactly how they were going to wind up getting to that point of being happy together.
And that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. I just want to pop this up. Thank you, Karen. She says I'm on book 7. I knew someone would know. I saw a couple of questions here. I want to pause. If you have questions for Lexi, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'm going to scroll right now and put a few up for Lexi to answer because I see some popping up. Okay, here's one from Tina Rose. She is asking, how do you come up with the characters?
That's a good one. A lot of them I don't. They tell me who they are. They're in my head, and because I'm a pantser, a scene will be in my head, and I just write it, and then I work from that, and learn who they are that way, how they react to certain things.
And as far as naming characters, do they have a name from the very beginning? Do you often have to change it because of the personality, or do you kind of wait till the end to name your character?
A lot of my male characters are John, and then they get a name later.
There you go. So, that's what I do. I put an X in there. I put
an X
in red. That reminds me to give him a name sometime and for me, by the end of the first book, I kind of know where the personality is going. And I can try and find a name. Where do you find your names? Do they just come out of your head, or do you have a site that you use? Or?
Sometimes I will post in my Facebook group and do like a giveaway. If I pick your name, you'll get a free advanced copy. Sometimes I just see a name that's in my on Facebook or whatever, and I'll write it down, and I have a list. And sometimes I do the baby sites too. It just depends.
Yeah, that's kind of where I go. What's the name of your group?
My group's called A's Blackheart Babes.
What is it?
A's like A with an apostrophe S. Blackheart Babes.
I'm going to look it up. And if you want to, after our chat, go ahead and leave the link in the comments. And
Yeah.
anyone here that's interested in, checking out the group, Lexi's group, she'll leave it in the comments for you. I saw another question here I wanted to put up. It's from Leisha Hayne. We did talk a little bit about this. She's asking, do your book characters talk to you? And if they do, have you had to change something in the story because of it?
They don't, I wouldn't say they talk to me, but I do get some scenes in my head that I have to write down, like between the two characters. Yeah. So, and that's usually, I don't start from chapter 1 and go down to the last chapter. I jump around
Oh,
depending
you
on
do?
the scenes. Yeah, depending on what the scenes are, and I fill in the blanks.
Oh, I can't do that. I have to go back. Someone asked me that one time, and I'm like, no, I have to go. I haven't even tried that one. I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes I just, if that scene's in my head and I have to get it
You
out.
have to get it out.
Yeah.
That's wow. That's a new one. If it works, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then we have a question from Lisa. She's asking, if you could be any of your characters for a day, who would it be and why?
I would definitely be Haley because I have always been interested in medicine, but I've never had the discipline to go to medical school or anything. But it would be cool to like cut into somebody.
Oh my God. I don't know about that. Wasn't my thought, but okay. Use that in one of your dark romances.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a good answer. Okay, then. Moving on. Cut into somebody. Okay. Tina's asking, do you ever think about writing another genre besides romance? And I'm going to throw in there also dark romance.
I think I would always write romance. I don't think I would wind up writing anything else. I do want to write a fantasy romance or a paranormal, like maybe like a shifter. I just don't know where I would even start with that.
I wouldn't
Maybe
know.
down the road. Yeah,
I'm
maybe
not,
down the road.
yeah, I don't ever even read a shifter, so I wouldn't even know where to begin. I
Yeah,
wouldn't know where to begin. Let me see. Renee is asking, are you the first author in your family?
I am. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How old are your boys again?
My youngest is 2, and
Oh, he's too
then
young to read the
my
book.
girl, he's my boy, and then my girls are 4 and 7.
4 and 7.
Yeah,
And do they know mom's an author? They
they do.
understand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, my oldest, she's in first grade this year. So last year, is kind of like when I started doing the publishing and stuff. She has started making her own little stories, her unicorn stories.
I love that because my grandson, he's 11. So
Mhm.
he understands that my 7-year-old is halfway there that Nana writes books. But he loves to write. And we've written a few stories together, which is a
No,
lot of
that's
fun.
sweet.
And his mom, she was, she talks about publishing them on Amazon and stuff like that. So, I love that we, a good influence on books and reading. And do your kids love to read?
They do. Yeah.
Good.
My
And
youngest, he's not really into it much. But the girls
he's
are.
only
Yeah.
2 though, right?
Yeah.
Now, do they read physical books or do they read on a tablet?
They have the tablet, but they don't really read on the tablet. We read the physical books
No,
a
I like
lot.
that. And I
Yeah.
really hope that it stays that way with young kids, especially. I mean,
Yeah.
I really do. I know a lot of people like the ebooks, and I do read them when I'm doing reviews and stuff. But my personal favorite is a physical book. But I
Yeah.
just would like to see the kids experience a physical book before they get to be 16 or whatever and make their own choice. I just would love
Yeah.
to. I hope it sticks to that. I have a question here from Lori. Do you like to read the same genre you write, or do you read others for pleasure?
I'll read any type of romance, rom-com, whatever. I just read the Blood and Ash series, which is like fantasy romance. So I read as long as it's romance, I read any genre.
Is there any authors that inspire you in the genres you read?
So Serena Ackroyd, she does Irish Mafia as well. I really like her books.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam Mariano, she does Mafia books as well. They're my 2 top Mafia authors that I like.
Wonderful. Do you also do? I mean, I don't know why, but maybe this is wrong on me. But is mafia can be associated with bikers too, or is it just totally 2 different things?
Yeah, so Mafia is mostly just like the Italians, Irish,
Okay.
Russians, and then the motorcycles would be considered MC. That's a completely
Now, I mean, I haven't read any of these, and I'm just totally, in my head asking these questions. But are the motorcycle ones, are they considered dark too?
I would think so. Yeah, I haven't read much. I know Serena, she does the motorcycle as well as the Mafia, but I
Because I
haven't
see a
read
lot of
any.
those. I see a lot of those, not just.
Yeah,
Do you think you'd write a motorcycle club one?
maybe if the character came about, I
Yeah.
might.
How? I mean, you've written 6 books. We're only in September. You've written 6 books this year. How
Mhm.
long does it take you to write a book, and how many words on average are your books?
They're about 70 to 90,000 words.
That's a good sized book.
Yeah, it can take me if I am at work without the kids, it can take me like a couple of days to write like 10,000 words.
That's
Um, it just
excellent.
it just depends. Sometimes it's a little less. It just depends on
And,
the week.
and do you edit your own books, or you send them out to an editor?
I edit them pretty heavily before I send them out.
And then you have the editor. And what about the covers? Can we see your book one more time for those
Yeah,
that didn't see it the first time? This is Her Vengeful King. Beautiful cover. Now, did you design the cover, or you have a cover designer?
I have a cover designer. Her name is Charlie. She does all of my books for me. She's
That's
awesome.
great. And you just kind of give her ideas of what you want on the cover, and then she puts
Yeah.
it together for you.
Yep.
And what about the
She
blurb? Do you write the blurb, or you have someone do?
I give a rough blurb and then Charlie, she reads and edits for me.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so when you're not writing, when you don't have the kids, which I can't see that ever happening, what things do you like to do for you? What
Um
wind down, whatever. What do you do for you?
I like to read. I like to curl up on the couch with a cup of tea and read.
Oh,
Um
tea.
yeah. And then I like to craft too. Like I make the iron on t-shirts and stuff like that.
Oh, I like that. Now, do you do T-shirts for your books, like the
I haven't
covers?
yet. I think I want to eventually. I just haven't had the time. I've had a couple of designs like set to do that. I just haven't gotten to it
So you
yet.
must have there's some kind of machine that you have to have to do the transfer, right?
Yeah, it's called a Cricut. So like you put the design on the computer and then
Um,
it cuts it for you. You peel it and then you iron it onto the shirt.
oh wow! And you can do any design you want. I'm assuming.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, I have to look into one of those. But I bet you they're not cheap.
Yeah. My friend, she uses it to make stickers. So
Oh, so you
that
use
would
the
be,
same. What about coffee mugs? Would you use the same for coffee mugs?
yep, you could use it for coffee mugs too. You could use it for a lot of different things.
I have to look into that because I like you, the author. We want to have swag for our books, but
Yeah.
I have an outsider that does my swag. But it might be a nice investment to get the machine. It's called the Cricut.
Yeah. Cricut.
Cricut.
Yeah.
Cricut. Cricut.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up. My jaw will probably drop when I see the price. But hey, something to think about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got some more questions for you. Then I'm gonna do a little read. Tina Rose is asking, "What does hubby think about your books?"
He likes them. He read the first one. He hasn't read any of the other ones. So he's not much of a reader and with being busy too.
Yeah, true. But he
Yeah.
he likes them. That's great. I
Yeah.
have one here from a Facebook user, but I'm not sure who you are. You must be in the group, but I'm going to put your question up. It says, if you wrote a shapeshifter book, what animal? Okay,
Would you choose?
I don't read shifter books, so this might make sense to you.
I think I would do a wolf one.
Can you
Like
explain to me
wolves.
what a shifter book is? Because
So it's like
never read
it's like a paranormal. It's like a paranormal. So like a person who can shift into an animal. There's a whole bunch of different ones. I haven't really read much of them.
Uh-huh.
So like wolves, bears. I think there's probably even like dragons too. I would assume. I know like
Oh wow!
people really
And
like
it's always
those.
an animal.
I don't think I've ever
I've
read.
never. I mean, I wouldn't have. This is all new to me. I've never read a shifter book, but the way I'm looking at it is there'd be a human being that can change into like a werewolf or a wolf
Yeah.
and then go back, but he couldn't
Hmm.
change into another human being, or it's nothing to do with like a vampire. Is that a shifter? No.
I would think so. I actually just read one. It was a vampire book, but there were people that shifted into wolves too.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
How many? A new genre I've never read, and that is one you think about writing.
Maybe, yeah, down the road. I have kind of like an idea, but it probably won't be for a while
Do
because I don't even
you?
know where I would begin to start to plot that.
I would have to read at least half a dozen to just kind of
Yeah,
feel of the genre and see how the process is of writing and the development of the characters. Because
yeah,
it's a book, a genre I've never ever read, and I've heard of the word shifter, but I've never really delved into it.
yeah.
But no, something to look into. There's always something. I'm always surprised by something. I want to put up a few comments here. This Facebook says, I love shifter books. This is Robin Browning. Hi, Robin. Good to see you. Thank you for that. I'm going to put up a few comments. Um, Here we have, I love paranormal. There are some good series out there. You said you consider yours a paranormal, Lexi?
If I did that story, it would be paranormal.
It would
Yeah,
be paranormal.
yeah.
From the, how many books you say you've written? 6, 7?
It'll be 6 by the end of the year.
3
Yeah.
published, 3 you're working on. Do you have a favorite out of the 6 you've written so far?
I can't say that I do. You could definitely see from book 1 to book 3, like the process of making stronger characters and stronger stories, but I don't think I would have a favorite.
No, it's kind of hard, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
they're all your babies.
I know. They are never, no matter how many books we've written, every single one that we put out there is a baby. I agree.
Yeah.
I am going to take a little break and I'm going to read the blurb that's on Amazon. If you want to hold the cover up one more time so they know which one I'm reading from. And it is The Vengeful King. This is book 1. And forgive me, but what is the name of the series?
Black Hearts.
Black Hearts.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read the description. This is one that's on Amazon. So here we go. Boston was cold in the winter, but her heart was colder. Army veteran Haley Sabino ran from the West Coast to avoid her monsters. The man who hurt her may not have followed, but the haunting memories did. PTSD from the trauma of her stepfather left her turning to alcohol to numb her pain. She's only ever known that men can't be trusted. When Cal barreled through her world, she struggled to find meaning in the new attraction. Callum Murphy, heir to the Boston Irish Mafia, never expected to find a woman he loved. When Haley entered his bar for a birthday bash, he knew he couldn't let her go. The sadness in her eyes drew him to her, but the challenge of breaking down her walls is exactly what he was missing in his life. Can Haley finally trust a man with her heart? And can Cal be the one, even though he is the worst monster of all? Ooh, sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
And that's book 1. And then you said the siblings from this book where they get their own story.
All of his siblings will get their own book.
I'm going to put some more of these cups. Any other genres that you want to write? Because we got that question. That would be paranormal.
Yeah.
You always write romances.
Yeah.
When you sit down to begin a book, okay, let me back up a little bit. You've gotten 6 books published. When you finish the book, it's done with the editing, it's done with the cover, but you're not ready to publish it yet. Do you go right into the next book, or do you take a break in between, or do you just go boom, 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 boom?
I don't really have a process. I think I'm still trying to like learn and get into that groove.
Mm-hmm.
So usually I won't, between the time it takes me to get it edited and to back, I probably just, sometimes I'll take a break. I might write like a little bit, but I kind of just relax.
Just chill out.
Yeah.
And when a book has been published, like you have 3 now, once it goes live, do you do anything to celebrate? Do you have a tradition of, once your book is live?
No, not really.
Oh, you have to do something.
No.
Have you had some
I mean, the first one was on my birthday, so.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
You should have cake and dinner with the family. That should be.
Yeah.
But the amount of books you're popping out, you've been having cake every 2 months.
Exactly.
Okay, here's a question for you from Tammy. Do you think you would ever write a beach scene?
Cracked Open has a beach scene in it.
Oh, it does. Which beach?
Yes.
Which beach?
Oh gosh, I don't even remember.
That's
That's
okay.
horrible.
Do you, I mean, are your books basically take place in places you know, or do you just pick a place and then do the research afterward?
I've never been to California. Cracked Open set in California. And I've never been to Boston either.
So you do the internet research to get a feel for the beaches and
Yeah.
stuff
And
like
I
that.
know people who are in both. So my friend who lives in California, she read it and she gave me some help too.
Oh, good. Ah, I'm in
Yeah.
California too. I'm one of mine takes place in San Diego.
Okay.
San Diego beaches. We have a lot of beaches. It'll be hard to remember the name. It would. And here's Karen. She says she loves beach scenes. A question from, sorry, face it might be Robin again. I'm not sure. Which book would you like to see a movie made into?
I would love to see the Blackheart series made into a movie. I think that would be cool because we, like I said earlier, my husband and I like the like Peaky Blinders, the mafia stuff.
Do you have any ideas of what movie stars would play the characters in your
Oh
head?
gosh, no, I've never thought about it.
Top of your head, think of one. You think of one?
I
Maybe
don't
for
know.
Haley. Who would you like to see play Haley?
Oh, maybe I can't remember her name.
Oh,
From
what's
One
your
Tree Hill. Her name is Brooke from One Tree Hill. I can't Sophia Bush
one
maybe.
terrible. I shouldn't have put you on the spot. Mean of me. Mean of me. Um, so you say you're kind of learning your groove, how your writing pattern. Do you when you sit down? I know you do some at work, so it's kind of hard, but do you kind of set a goal as amount of words you want to complete during the end of the day, or do you try and write every day? Is there any kind of pattern that you're trying to establish?
Not really, because I like to spend time with my family too. So I don't like to put pressure on getting a word count in every day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I would like to have those 5 or 6 books published. So with that in mind too, I try to get as much as I can done when I can. So I don't write like it's not like a word count goal per se, more just like I want to get this book done and have it
Right,
out by this time.
right. And do you have a long term goal set for yourself? Say like in 5 years?
Not really. I
No.
honestly no. To have my first series done, I would like to have my first the Blackheart series done by next year, but after that I don't know where I'll go with that. Like what series I would do next.
Okay, because you want to complete these first two series, and then
Yeah.
you'll step back
Yeah, and
and see.
reevaluate and figure out what we can do.
Okay, I know you're a new author this year.
Mhm.
Um, what are some of the, I'm going to say, the biggest or hardest struggles that you've come across getting these books out that you
Um,
would, I want to say, I would say not warn authors, but just what have you learned or made better for yourself as you've been releasing your book? Something you did in the beginning that you don't do now. Does that make
I
sense?
would say not looking at reviews. The like negative reviews can really mess with your head. So I don't even look at them anymore.
Okay.
Um, that was kind of a struggle at the beginning, especially because my writing wasn't as strong. So there was a lot more of the people who were negative. Um, so yeah, now I don't even look at them. And because I'm a pantser, and I don't plot my stories, I like to have a couple people read them as I write, and that helps a lot too.
Okay. Okay. And do
Strengthening.
you have a review team?
I do, yeah.
How about do you have a review team group, or is that part of your group that you're going to put the links onto? Is it a separate
Um,
group?
it's a separate group. I don't really use it much. I usually send out all my reviews through like email, and then
Mhm.
the group we just kind of chat about the stories.
Okay, because I asked that because Karen is pretty much asking the same question. Karen reads a lot of arts. Do you have a street team or an art team to help get the word out about your book?
I don't have a street team. I tried to set one up. I don't really know what I'm doing with it. But I do have like a list of emails that I send out for the arcs.
Oh, okay. And are you
Yeah.
taking new people in for your arcs, or is that something you do on your time schedule and depending on how many readers you have?
I usually open it up like a week before I send out for the next book.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll
Well, I
open
know
it up a
you're
week.
in my group, Read More Books. If, you need to look for more ARC readers, send me a message. And if it's not on the day we have, something going on, feel free to seek in my group
Awesome.
for ARC
Thank
readers.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know who this is, but how long before a publisher picked up your book to publish?
I am an indie author, so I'm self-published. So I didn't even
Go through the
think,
publishing.
yeah, I was like, I'm not even going to try to do that.
Do you think you will in the future, or you just want to stay as a self-published?
I'll probably stay self-published. I like to have control of
Yes,
everything,
the same.
picking out who my editor is and all that.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
the same way with you. I had my first book was published, and it was a nightmare. For 2 years, I was locked into them, and
Yeah.
now all my books are self-published, and it's the same reason as you control.
Yep.
100% control. And if you want to put a book on sale, it happens right away instead of emailing our publisher 6 times, like, when are you going to put my book on sale?
Yeah.
I asked you like 2 months ago, and you can't promote your books whatsoever
Yeah.
because the publisher has the rights to your book. So, Facebook, you're 18. I'm the face this question and
Robin is in my group too.
Again. I just want to put a few comments up about, you talked about your negative feedbacks. Dana says, I never write negative comments. I usually review the positive results. Yeah. And I really don't understand why, especially when it comes to mean, where someone would tear a person's book apart that they put their heart and soul into and months of work, sometimes years. Why would you put your review publicly to, scar that author? Why not just message them privately?
Yeah. And I don't, they're for the readers. They're not for the authors. So, and I understand that. And even though it kind of hurts you, I just
it does
choose to turn it off because it's not for me to read. It's for other people to decide if their book is for
it
me.
Is. And we do know that, our books are not for everyone. But I've just never believed in just,
being mean. Yeah.
Hanging down on an author after. Here's another one. Negative reviews can help you become better each time. They can if they're positive critiques.
Well, and that's why I have the alpha and the beta readers too. They help critique in a better setting. The reviews are definitely, they're not for the authors, they're for the readers.
Yes, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. You live in Delaware. Do any of your books take place around where you live?
No.
No?
Just the California and Boston for now. There's one that has a little bit of Las Vegas in it, but I haven't done any like in Delaware now.
And how about your characters? Any part of them based on anyone you know? You don't have to give any names, just,
There is one character that I use her name, and she's somebody that I know in real life, but that's, yeah. I don't really want to say.
No.
She winds up dying.
I don't want to give any names out there. I ask is because, I hear from authors that some of the readers will pick up that, did you put me in your book? Because I do that, or I do this. So I was just curious if you put someone, not the whole person, but someone that likes tea or drinks Guinness. Like my dad, who's an author too, and 80% of his characters drank Guinness because my dad drank Guinness. And I'm like, Dad, you really need to give your characters another drink. Because you keep picking Guinness. He goes, well, I like Guinness.
I do. That's actually something fun that I like to do is pick a different drink for each character. So like Andy likes to drink Moscato. Haley drinks red wine. Callum drinks whiskey. And then I have in my one book that I'm still working on, the female drinks Paloma. So like every book has something, a different drink in it.
Now, how do you keep track of your characters' personalities, traits, hobbies, whatever you want to call them?
I have like a Google Doc that has like each series, and I can just kind of put notes. Mm-hmm. But if there's something that I can't remember that's not in the notes, I just go back through the ebook document and try to find it.
Okay, because I found what helps me is a spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet on Excel, I have all the characters' names, down in the left column. Then across the top, I have mother's name, father's name, favorite drink, favorite
That's a
hobby,
good
bad
idea.
habit, and I can just go to that spreadsheet. Now, what was Jill's dad's name again? And I just and it really, and I didn't start doing that until book 3. And the
Mhm.
reason why is because I was sick. I mean, I like my books and all that, but I got tired of reading them just to find one little
Yeah.
thing, one little detail about this one character. Now, what was that dad's name? I have to keep going back. So the
Yeah.
spreadsheet really helps.
Yeah.
So you might want to see if that would help you. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
I needed something. When it comes to you're away from home, like at work, if you're not
Mhm.
at work, because I know you write at work, if you're away from home and an idea just pops into your head from nowhere, what do you do about remembering that note that might be used for a book or the book you're working on? Do you have a notepad? Do you use your phone?
I just use my phone and write it down real quick in like a
Right.
text message. Yeah.
Okay, 'cause some authors will record it. They have a recording app. And other
Yeah.
and one that I really liked, and I've used it a few times, is they actually email themselves.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Yeah, they just email themselves that note, and then they pop it into. I guess they have a folder in the email,
Yeah.
ideas, book notes.
I have a long drive at work now. We just moved location, so it's like a 45-minute drive. And I've tried to do the dictation while I'm driving, and that hasn't really worked out.
I can't
But
do that. I tried.
yeah.
I have a slight English accent, and I think that has a lot to do with it. And I end up cussing at the dictation, and I go back and I go, I didn't put that in my book. Take that out. And then, I mean, I'm not sure if I'm doing the dictation right either, because I hear some authors say they'll say a sentence then period, and you have to put that. You actually have to say that word period.
Yeah.
And when I'm not in England, we call a period full stop. So I keep
Okay.
saying full stop, and that's in my book. Instead of period showing up, it says full stop. So the different terms that we use in the English language for writing, I keep picking up as I'm trying to dictate. So I gave up.
Yeah.
I hear it. It's a lot quicker to write a book, but I think it also takes a lot of patience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think I'll ever master it. Do you think you'll put your books on audio?
Maybe that could be you had asked me before what my 5-year goal is. Maybe that
No.
could, yeah, maybe eventually.
Yeah. I mean, mine aren't. I mean, my goal is to have them on. Basically, the Tammy Mello trilogy, I want to put on audio first.
Yeah.
But you're familiar with ACX, and the way that
Mhm.
works is that you can do the royalties, whether you split it or you can do pay up front and don't share the royalties.
Mhm.
And I want to do the no share royalties. So that, and I also don't want the books to be 1 year, book 1, a year later, book 2, or a year later,
Yeah.
book 3. If I do the audio, which I will, I want them to come out close together. So
Right.
that's going to take more than just pocket change to get that going. So
Yeah.
that's the reason. I mean, I could do, book 1 right now, but I won't be able to do book 2 for another year. And I don't want to do that to the readers.
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to listen to an audiobook. I want to go grab the next one.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you have ideas of like the narrators that you would like to use?
Nothing. And I'm kind of and I've had this question asked before because Tammy Mellows is British and the
Mm.
book started in England and she has a real thick accent. And Tammy's based on me. But as the books progress, she loses a bit of her accent.
Mhm.
So it's like, do I pick an English narrative and she fades the accent as she reads books 1, 2, and 3, or do I,
Right.
cross over to an American narrative that will fade, put on a little bit of an English accent, but not the full blown, strong
Yeah.
accent. So I'm kind of not sure which way to go with it. And I'll probably talk to either other authors or narrators that have done a lot of books and have the experience of which way a book would go like that. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of questions we got to ask ourselves. Um, okay, I already asked that question. There's a question that came in my head when we were talking about the audio. Now, I know what it was. With your series, how much of a gap between each book being released are there?
It was like between like 2 to 3 months for the first 3. I kind of slowed down because I had started writing book 2 of the very first series and like stopped to write book 2 of the second series. So we're kind of at a delay right now, but they should hopefully, if I get them out by December, it'll be like 2 to 3 months.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
And I did some anthologies too this year, so there was like
Fun.
short stories, so that kind of
Yes.
set back.
Yes,
the other, the
is the
longer ones.
anthology published too, or is that not published yet?
Actually, the one just released yesterday.
Oh,
And then,
congratulations!
thank you. And then there's two more that'll be. One will be at the end of this month, and then another one will be in November.
So you've done three anthology books,
Yeah.
short stories. Is it with the same authors or different authors in each one?
I don't think. I think a couple of us are in all three of them together. Yeah.
And how do you like that? Do you like writing the short stories, or do you prefer doing the series?
I like doing so all of the short stories will wind up being longer novels eventually.
Okay,
So the one that is going to release at the end of the month is actually going to wind up being book 3 in the first set of series um, that I did. So like it's just like the first like 5 or 6 chapters of that book, and then I'll go back and I'll make them novels because I like the longer length to read. So I don't think
right.
it's fair
So it's
to
kind
leave
of
it.
like a teaser.
Yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of a teaser. Now, when you have these up to 5 chapters, it's not a cliffhanger, is it? Or do you kind
No.
of okay? That's
So I kind of made it seem like, okay, if you didn't like extend it, it could end as a happily ever after.
okay,
But if I did extend it, they would have, the conflict. There's going to be conflict eventually, in
right,
the thicker novel.
okay. Do you ever take? I mean, you have the family, and your days must be filled to capacity. With 3 kids, writing and working. Do you take time off for the family and travel?
We like to go to Disney World. We actually just went this year in April. Um, and we've done like some smaller trips in the area around here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while. But
Is
we
there
don't travel. We haven't traveled like outside of the US or anything.
well with COVID that we have for the past 2 years, it's kind of
Yeah.
is there a state in or an area or a landmark in the states that you really want to go with the family that you haven't done
It's a long list. I would like Maine. I would love to go to Maine. I think that would be a beautiful place to check out. I'm
yet?
doing a book signing in Salem next year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So my husband and I are gonna go to do that together.
Oh,
Um,
fun.
yeah, I have a long list.
Now, is that in a bookstore or a convention?
It's a convention.
Which one is that?
Getting witchy with it is
I've
what it's
never.
called. It's in
Oh,
September of next year.
oh, congratulations.
Thank
That'll
you.
be fun. Is that your now? Have you done other book signings?
It'll be my first, unless I
Oh,
send.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm glad your husband's going to be with you too.
yeah. I'm
Yeah, we got
excited.
some congratulations for that coming up. See, here's one from Elaine. She says, "Sweet." Now the convention is it just a romance books, dark romances? What kind of convention is it?
I think it's just romance. I'm not sure though. I think it is just romance.
Okay. This one I want to go to is in Las Vegas, and it's 20 books to 50K. Have you
Oh, I want to do that one year.
yeah,
Yeah.
do that. I was hoping to go last year, but the COVID thing is just I'm gonna
Yeah.
wait a couple of years until COVID is not even being not say talked about, but just
Yeah.
relaxed, and then I'll go to that. Well, that's one I really want to go to, and I hear it's a lot of fun, and it's for indie authors,
Yeah.
and I'm not that far from Vegas, so it's one I really hope to go to. If you end up going, let me know. I might tag along.
Yeah, definitely.
The time is going pretty fast. If you have any last minute questions for Lexi, go ahead and put them in the comments. And I'm going to scroll and see if we have some more that I've missed. Rainey says, that is so exciting. Congratulations on your first book signing. And I think you said this is your first live. Is that correct? It is?
Yeah, it's my
I
first.
had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
God.
is
Well, you're a pro.
Yeah, thank you.
You are. You didn't tell me that one.
No. I was nervous.
I had no idea. You are doing brilliant. You are a pro.
Thank
You've
you.
got this down. You have got this down. So congratulations. I do want to ask Karen put up this has been an amazing live. We're going to talk about the
Thank you.
giveaway in just a few minutes, but I do like to especially from the new authors, what kind of advice would you give to someone that wants to be not necessarily an indie author, whether it be published with the big guys or an indie author? What advice would you give to them prior to publishing their first book? Something that you live by, or you still live by, or whatever comes to mind. What kind of advice would you give them?
You have to have thick skin. A lot of people, they're your babies, so you're sensitive, and when people critique them, you're going to get upset, and it can be hard to hear people not enjoying it. So you definitely need to develop that thick skin and pull yourself away from it, because not everyone's going to like what you're reading or writing. So you definitely have to just kind of go with it and be able to remove yourself from getting upset.
That's great advice. And I think that is one of the things. I mean, I've heard of a few authors that got their first bad review and they gave up. And that's so sad.
Yeah,
they didn't, like you said, develop that thick skin. And just, look, what I try and tell authors, you might have that bad one review. Look at the other 50 good reviews that you have.
Right. Yeah.
And then that one bad review is going to go off in the distance. If you get a bad review, quickly switch and start reading some of your good reviews. And that's going to help you develop that thick skin. But that's great advice. Wonderful advice. I can't believe this is your first live. I'm flattered too, by the way, that you chose to go on my show for a first time. Here we go. I guess that's Robin again. Robin is our faceless user here. I also want to say happy Labor Day. Yes, thank you again also for taking time out from your family to be here on Labor Day. Are you having it's 8:00 there. Did you do anything special for Labor Day today?
We went apple picking this morning, and then we hopped in the pool afterwards because it's hot over here.
Oh my God, it's hot here. I was going to ask you before we went live. My Brittany, she doesn't do good in this hot, and my air conditioning is loud, so I have a fan on in the kitchen because she will not move from this fan. She's been there for like the past 3 hours, and I wanted to ask you, do you hear it? But
no, I didn't hear.
You can't hear it because I was afraid it was too loud. But she's just laying there. I'm not moving from this spot. So, but no, Lexi, this has been amazing. I mean, you're a fantastic author to talk to, and I'm still in shock that this is your first live. I'd love to have you back when you have some more books come out. Please reach out to me. But we are doing some giveaways, which I like to do just for our live audience. So people that are watching us live, you are entered in the giveaway. But can you tell us real quick what you're giving away?
I'm going to give away a signed paperback of The Dealer. It's my most recent. It's a short story.
The Dealer. Oh, that's a short story.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's a standalone?
Well, it's a standalone? Yeah, it's a standalone.
Okay. Perfect. And that's going to be a signed copy?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And you've asked me to pick the winner for you, which I would do, and I will announce it in the group tonight. I will tag you. I will tag the winner. And then if you are the winner, just reach out to Lexi under the A.N. Stauber.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tag you, and they can just click on that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm also doing my regular giveaway, which is the $5 Amazon gift card. And in order to be entered into that drawing, you need to go to my author page, Tina Hogan Grant Author, and share this video from my page and tag me so it shows that you shared, and you will be entered in the $5 Amazon gift card. Do you have any last words, Lexi, before we sign off?
No, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's been a blast. And thank you, everyone, for being here as usual. I love that you guys come give us support and ask those fantastic questions. I do want to ask you, if you want to scroll through the comments anytime you have some time, you've got nothing taking away from those kids, and you see some questions we've missed, I'd love it if you answer them. But it's on my author page and in the group.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.